that?
MISSISSIPPI.
That's how I knew how to spell it, Stan. When I was spelling it out for the title, I did the MISSISSIPPI. I did that in my head. And I started giggling to myself. I was like,
land of cotton.
hold on.
My feet stink and yours are rotten. Look away.
Love that song. Dixieland. you sang that song before when you were marching?
No.
For the Texas Army? Texas Infantry?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, welcome to Friday. It's Ken, Charlie. It is super duper hot in the hot tub today. Did you notice how hot it was when you got in?
It is, yeah. The hot tub is
It's lovely. Do you see who we got with us today?
I did.
The dreamer himself.
Yep.
Mr. Stan Tenacious TX Vapes. What's happening, Stan? What are you doing down there? Dang!
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 That worked. This is sting. Dang! I should just do that every time I want to. Who needs bumpers, man? Dang!
You do. It's instead of doing instead of doing them like professionally, just like have them in your hand and be like, hold on.
Yeah, just
get it up, pull it up, put it up to get your camera.
Right? Hold on, here we go.
Pow!
Yeah, just boxes. Bam!
Trying to save money around here. Christ's sake. How in the world is everybody doing? It's Friday, and I'll tell you what, we're going to kick off. It's Thanksgiving weekend. I hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving if you're an American. If you're in America, Thanksgiving is a day that we call out and give thanks to everything that we are thankful for. I'm thankful for you guys. Very thankful for you guys. Even though I didn't contact you. Did I contact either one of you yesterday and tell you I was thankful for you?
No.
I should have.
I sent you a turkey message, didn't I?
I don't think so.
I didn't send you the turkey message?
I didn't receive any turkey messages.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to start today off. We're going to do something a little different. I want to start it out. First off, Charlie, how have you been? We didn't have a show last week.
I've been good, man.
Been good?
It's been a busy few weeks, but it's been good.
That's good, man. It's good to see
Finally
you.
caught up on some rest yesterday and today.
Did you? Eat and sleep a lot. That's what Thanksgiving is. Eat, sleep, and football.
Yep.
In that order. That's pretty much what it is.
I still feel bloated.
Yeah.
Me too, but that's because I just ate again.
I did too. I ate this afternoon. I've been like living on broccoli cheese casserole. It's like it is literally one of my favorite things ever to eat on this earth.
Oh,
really?
You ever have broccoli cheese casserole?
For you.
Yeah, what?
I finally sent out Got Streamer. Is that how you say his name?
Oh yeah.
Got Streamer.
Got
Bull. I gave
away Got Bull.
Yeah, Got Bull, yeah.
He's probably in the chat. He may be in the chat. I don't know.
I sent out his Dreamer, so it'll be there eventually.
Yes, he's international.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
That's shipping though.
Yeah. There he is. He's in there. I see him.
Yep.
So let's start. Okay, Stan, how you doing? Welcome back, Stan. You know you're always welcome here. You're always welcome.
Yeah, when you say, hey, you want to come in the hot tub? I'm like, heck yeah, bro.
I love it.
I haven't taken a bath in like 3 days, so yeah, hot tub dip sounds good.
Yeah.
And you put out in the hot tub. That's what I like.
That's right.
Dude,
super easy.
I'm one of those people that has like a hot tub fetish.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hot tub.
Just a swimming pool fetish.
Does that just mean you're a slut? Like, is hot tub fetish like equal slut? Like, really? If somebody came to you, they're like, hey, look.
You know what? Back in my day, I really was a super, like, I was a classy slut.
I don't believe that.
That's not true at all.
I don't believe that at all. I do not believe that at all. I believe you're like a one woman man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I am now.
Me too. Me too. You know, even if the thought ever crossed my mind to cheat on my wife, which I would never do, if my wife found out, I will die. Like, I don't think there's any way around that. She will kill me, legitimately kill me. So there's always that in the back of my mind. Whenever I see like a really nice butt, that is a nice butt. That's a nice butt. But is it really nice enough to die for? Because literally that's where I'm going.
It's not worth the headache, bro.
It's not worth the
It's
death.
not worth the headache. No,
Oh.
man, me and Johnny Dribbles were having this conversation, and he's like, yeah, he was talking about how we were talking about like a friend of ours that we know that was like, you know, kind of doing things and got in trouble, and he was like,
Yeah.
dude, I couldn't do that, man. My wife, she flat out said that she would cut my thing off. And like the day we got married, and I was like, yeah, I was like, my wife did something like that, but she said, I will, what did she say? Not destroy you. She said, I will, something like I will destroy you, or I will end you, or something like that. And yeah, I think that's worse because you don't have any idea. Like he's like, yeah, that is worse because at least I know I'm just gonna end up with no wang. He's like, you say something like that, and it's like, what do you mean? What's gonna happen?
Right. What's gonna happen? Like, I'm curious now. Like, have you been taping our conversations? Like, what are you gonna do?
I'm scared.
The fuck? It's funny, man, because like I think it's a different generation. But like there was this, I worked with this older guy. This is about 10 years ago. I worked with this older guy, and he would always brag. When I say older, I mean he was probably 15 years older than me. And he would always like brag about how many women he was sleeping with, like all this stuff. And it was so like distasteful. I'm like, that's not our, like, I'm not into that. Like, I don't think that's cool. Like he was married. Like if you're single and you come to me and you're like, yeah, I banged this redhead and I banged this blonde, I'd be like, oh, that's fucking awesome. Good for you. Like, I'm happy for you. I'm living vicariously through you right now. But like, if you're married, like that doesn't impress me at all. Like, I don't know if there's guys still like that, but I'm not like that. Like, I just don't like that at all.
I honestly was always one at a
it.
time, and I hated the dating game. Like, I hated it.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't want to ever go back to the dating game.
Would you use one of the apps?
Up. I love my wife. What?
Hold on. Well, let's start with this. We're all three. I mean, Charlie's pretty much married. He's got a wonderful partner. Jennifer, he's pretty much. So we're all three pretty much married. I want to ask you a question, just to throw this out there. If you were going to be single again, God forbid, something were to happen, and you were which dating app would you use, Charlie?
Oh, geez.
Which dating app?
You're muted. I don't think I would use a dating app.
You wouldn't use it. You wouldn't get any pussy.
I think I would just wing it with the social networks.
Just go after. Just start messaging people on Instagram. Be like, I really like that picture of you blowing clouds.
Yeah, or just put a picture of my wang on Instagram.
Nice. Put a picture of what?
Put a picture of my wang on Instagram. And
I like that idea.
X1 if I should put you in my little black book.
Would you catfish your wang? Would you like put a different picture? Would you put a different picture of somebody else's wang on there?
If you don't, you're doing it wrong.
I would use my wang, but it might be a little touched up.
You touched up by me. Mine would have to be like touched up by like magnified by 100, like literally for me to have any chance.
Just don't tell them it's the macro lens. Yeah,
I haven't manscaped in like 4 years. Like literally, like it would be like I'm not getting anything. Like people would be. Charlie, did you see Waylon trying to eat my cord?
Oh man, I've got a cat that's fucking vicious with cords.
He's pissed. All right, same question for you, Stan. Do you have an app? Your go-to app? Should you go to?
I'd go Tinder for a week.
Tinder? Is Tinder the one where you do this?
Just for a week, just for a real quick week.
Yeah.
And then I would want to go to a high-paying premium site, because that way you know those people are actually serious.
Are gold diggers.
And the girl probably has a job. No, dude, you gotta pay a premium.
Yeah, because you don't want to go for the gold diggers. You don't want to be on like sugarbaby.com.
What?
Sugarbaby.com.
What's that? Hold on, research time. What's sugarbaby.com?
Well, just know that you got to pay for it. But if you go to other premium apps, you can go to like bringhomeamilf.com or findyourcougar.com and find.
Is that where you went?
That's where I would go. I've always liked older women. Older women are beautiful lovers.
Yeah, like if they can pay $75 a month to be a member of some premium dating service, they're not going to argue about splitting the bill at McDonald's.
They're not going to worry about splitting their McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, though, if you go after a MILF, that you like got to perform. Like you can't half step with a MILF.
Oh no, for sure.
Like because if you like show up and like give them your C game, you're getting thrown out. Like, you got to come with
My
your
wife's
A game.
older than me by a good chunk.
Is she?
Mhm.
That's sexy.
That's the
I like
only
that.
way to do it, man.
I like that a lot. I'm an older women guy. I mean, I am older now, so it kind of takes away the flair.
Great lovers.
That's the Oak Ridge voice. I was thinking that. All right. What happened? I had a joke out of this. I can't remember what it was.
I think you would probably use Grindr for the first week until
Grindr?
Yeah, we just told you about it, and it's nothing but men. But
Grindr,
That
it's all
sounds
men.
horrible.
I would definitely recommend that for you to get started. See how long it took you to notice.
I went to. Did I ever tell you the story about going to a gay bar in Key West?
No.
Yeah, went in, fucking beautiful bar. Went in, sat down at the bar, having a couple drinks, fucking hammered. I was hammered when I got there. This is back when I was like in my 20s. And we fucking walked in, sat at the bar, fucking just partying, getting it on. It was like me and two of my buddies down in Key West for spring break. My buddy gets up. He's like, man, I got to take a piss. He runs to the bathroom. He comes back out. He literally looked like somebody pulled a gun on him. He was like, I'm like, what? I'm like, his name was Meatball. We called him Balls. I'm like, Balls, what's up? His name was Meatball, a big fat Italian guy. We called him Balls. Like, what's up, Balls? He's like, we gotta get the fuck out of here right now. It's like, what? He's like, follow me. We leave. Anyway, he went to the bathroom. There's a picture of like two guys making out on the wall. He's like, what the fuck is this? He looks over. These two guys are sitting there like fucking, I don't know what they're doing, jerking each other off or something in the bathroom. He's like, oh my God. And he came back out. He said he came back out. He looked around. It was all guys. There was no women in his place at all. He's like, oh.
Oh, man.
Zero
Then I went
kind of
back
got
after
me
everybody went
pegged.
to
I think
bed.
Zero's got a point. He said,
What's
Stan's
that?
profile. I tinker in the vape game. My eyes go there in the men's room, and I have pooped my pants. Stan, stay married. Your profile is a death sentence.
Yeah, we would be the worst thing that happened to Stan's profile. That's for sure. So you were talking about the gay bar thing. I was
Yeah.
at the doctor a few weeks ago, and
Doctor.
yeah, and I was scared I
Is that
had
what
the
you call
flu.
that?
Yeah, well, I was scared I had the flu, and I didn't want to tell him I vaped and then get put in the hospital for lipoid pneumonia because I had a sinus infection.
Yeah.
So, my regular doctor knows I vape, but this was like another guy that was in because she wasn't there that day. So I was like, dude, I got to go to Washington, D.C. in 2 days. You got to get this shit fixed up. Like, give me shots, whatever it takes. I'm down, but I need to be better. So he's like, oh, what are you going to Washington for? And I was like, I'm going for a rally to tell the government to stop stepping on my rights with government overreach. And he was like, oh my God, that's fucking awesome. You're going to tell the president, don't tread on me. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. Don't tread on my rights. And
I
he's like,
love that.
he's like, dude, I got to tell you what happened a few years ago. He said, I ended up at a fucking Democrat's house. I was like, oh, yeah? He was like, yeah, man, it was the craziest shit. One of my patients invites me to a party, and it's like election night. And he was like, we're watching TV and having a fish fry. And then I realized that like me and my wife are the only people at this huge party that are cheering when a Republican gets elected. So he was like, I started asking around and I found out that there was Democrats there. He was like talking about them like they had cancer.
I was gonna say, like, can't you go to a party and you just like
And
it
then-
doesn't matter? I've never thought about
He was like-
anybody's political
he was like-
affiliation at a party.
He was like, oh my God, I had to get out of there. So I told my wife, I need you to go in the bathroom. Don't ask any questions. And just go in there for a couple minutes and we'll be fine. So he goes to the person whose party it is and was like, man, I don't know if it's the fish or what, but my wife has the shits like bad. So we're going to have to get out of here early. He was like, it's a bloodbath in your bathroom.
do you guys have an Irish? Go ahead. Sorry. Are you
So
done?
then his wife comes out and they leave, but it was hilarious how appalled he was that he ended up at a Democrat's fish fry.
Did I ever tell you, Veronica and I have a goodbye, like a get out of a party gig that we do.
Oh yeah.
Like we can look at each other across, like if we're at a party or something, we can look at each other across the room and like give each other a certain look. And she knows it's Irish goodbye. You know what an Irish goodbye is?
No, what's an
You
Irish
just fucking
goodbye?
leave. You don't tell anybody you're leaving. You just leave.
Yeah,
Like,
me and
I'll look at
Jessica-
her and I'll like make this like go and then like I'll go to the bathroom and she'll go out to the car and I'll meet her out in the car. We driveway. We do that all the time.
See, I don't
Irish goodbye.
like. Sometimes
That's
I'll just walk
gangster.
out and leave.
That is gangster. We're pretty gangster.
Yeah, I don't ever go to the trouble usually of telling the people I'm leaving. I just disappear.
That's the way to do
Depends
it.
on how busy the party is. Like, I feel bad if I don't say bye to the person that invited me.
Or if it's your own party, then that's kind of weird. When
Well,
you
yeah, you
can't.
can't. But if they're like, if the host is like engaged in conversation and constantly like to these people, to those people, like all over the place, I'll just be like, hey, see you later, and I'll talk to them later. You know, I won't like go interrupt them.
You don't just interrupt it.
I won't. No, I'll usually just like, I'll either, if they're too engaged or whatever, I don't want to interrupt and like make a scene, so I'll just go, or I'll like kind of like this from a distance.
I think it's best to like sometimes, you know, some people make a big to do about their leaving, and that just, oh, I'm gonna hug everybody, you know, I'm leaving. I was like, I don't really care. Bye.
That's a family thing. If it's family, like if it's a big family thing, I think it takes 20 minutes to leave because you have to hug everybody.
Yeah. Oh fuck, where were we? Are we live? We're live, aren't we?
We are live.
We've been live for like 20 minutes.
I forgot.
You hit the
Dude.
button.
I did.
Scott. Dude, do you listen to podcasts?
I actually do every day.
Man, I found I like true crime and
Yes, that's what I
stuff
listen
like
to.
that.
Yeah.
I'll shoot you some links after the show, but I wanted to tell the people while we're on the show. There's a guy that I found. He's actually a good friend of mine in high school. Was murdered. She was a girl. She was murdered right after high school, like her first semester of college, and left in a ditch in Texas. And he picked up the cold case after like 15 years and did it with a podcast, and they basically solved the case. But it's called Real Life Real Crime. And you can go to realliferealcrime.com. I think I'll drop the website in chat, but it's on all the podcast places like Apple Podcasts and the apps for Android.
If you listen to podcasts, bro, especially like that, there's a couple that I like. One of them is called This American Life.
I listened to that one.
That's
I'm a
really
huge
good
fan.
one. And then the other one, have you listened to the one where it's about what's the dude's name that went AWOL? Hold on. Log. The one that went completed. I don't remember what it's called. About the soldier that they claimed he was captured in, I believe it was Iraq. Where was it? He was captured in basically he was held captive for years and years and years, and finally I think it was under Obama they got him out. He was a prisoner of war, and they tried to say that like he was a traitor because he walked off post and he got captured.
Yes.
And they were trying to say he gave up secrets and stuff.
Yes, I remember that.
That was a super intriguing podcast. Let me see if I can find what
I listened to that and I can't remember. Yeah, he was in Afghanistan. No, it was Iraq.
Yeah.
You're right. Or no,
Serial.
I think it was somewhere, but they say that he said he walked off post to use the bathroom, and he never came back.
Supposedly he like had like some kind of mental issues, and he was just like super freaking out and stuff, and he just got to the point where he's like, I need to just get out of here. I need to just go. And he left post, and he was like gonna try to make his way home, and he got captured or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they charged him with treason, right?
Yeah, because he was like blending. He was like wearing the garb and everything that they would wear and stuff, trying to blend in and things like that. And they were trying to say that he was a traitor.
I've been listening to, like, speaking of podcasts, we won't stay on this too long, but I love podcasts. I listen to them in the car on the way to work and the way to and from work. I just find it much more enjoyable than listening to music anymore. And I've been listening to a couple. One was on the Monica Lewinsky thing. Surprisingly, like, done by Waverly. You ever heard of Waverly? They're like a podcast company. It's really good, but it's basically about the whole like affair between Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton. And it's really interesting, surprisingly, even though I don't know that much about politics, But it's very interesting how that played out, what the political stuff behind it. And then I was listening to one on Watergate, and they were interviewing the people from Watergate, like during the Trump, like how they're trying to impeach Trump and all that. I went back and started listening to Watergate shit. It's so eerily similar to what was going on. Yeah. It was like, it's funny.
Stuff, yeah, it was definitely. The Watergate thing was weird because of how they tried to bring it from there into a federal issue, in my opinion.
The Watergate thing is they had everything on tape.
Yeah.
And then he tried to say it didn't happen, and they're like, but we have the tapes. And like, we can hear you saying this right here.
Yeah, that's right.
He's like, that's not what I said. And they're like, this is exactly what you said. It's right here on the tape. He's like, I didn't say that. He's like,
the stuff these podcasts come up with, like that they dig up tapes.
There's some of them are so good.
It's crazy. It's crazy. There's one called S Town that I like.
Shit Town.
You listen to that one?
I've heard Shit Town. Yeah. I've listened to Shit Town.
The twist kind of was like, whoa, I never really thought about it. And it's interesting. It's good shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's another good topic for one day. All right, we got let's not forget. I want to do some funny news. Charlie, you got any funny news for us?
I do have a few stories that I found interesting.
Ooh, Charlie likes it.
Let me see those innards. What do you do? Red buttons?
They're
Or are those
pink.
on the panel? Oh, I see.
Pink clickies.
That
And then
purple
pink
Boro.
Clear panels.
Those are the mom's panels?
Yeah.
They feel so good in the hand. Like, I thought they were going to be sharp when I saw them in the pictures, and then I felt some in my hand, and I was like, God, I got to get those.
I didn't mean to get you off track there, Mr.
Right.
Mr. News.
So the first story in the news wasn't it didn't have any stupid Florida stuff or nudity like typical. But check this out. This was an airplane crash that happened. The plane hung up on that high wire.
Whoa.
Just dangled there. So the pilot was actually rescued by the fire department and totally unscathed. Like, if that wire would have busted, he probably would have died. But
power lines or telephone lines?
At least some of them are power, and they de-energized them. The one wire that ended up catching him, I don't know what that is.
I was just curious if I guess you said
It was
off.
energized at the time that he hit them. But that's all I know.
It was energized.
Yep.
Can you imagine that if he would have crossed two of those power cables, it would have
cooked him.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was really
learn to fly better.
So the next one caught my attention. I guess kind of because of the true crime thing. It says Navy vet 51 found in Texas apartment, presumed dead for 3 years. So
what?
Wow.
I'll read a few excerpts from it. A Navy veteran living in Texas was found dead in his apartment last week after vanishing about 3 years ago. And the medical examiner's office is now saying he's been dead the whole time.
Oh my God.
They forgot to check his house?
51 at the presumed time of death was found dead on the kitchen floor of his apartment in the DeSoto Town Center Apartments complex just outside of Dallas last week.
How shitty are those apartments that nobody noticed the smell?
So apparently that's kind of what I said too. And then what got my attention was it said the apartments found them because they made a list of, or were curious about some people that had been paying their rent for a long time that they hadn't seen. So they decided to go in and check the apartments, and he was dead. And one of the police officers' comments was like, it was very obvious he had been dead a long time when we walked in and looked at the body. Like there was no wondering if maybe he was moved or something. He was very dead.
That's
like a Justin Bieber 2012 tour T-shirt. Like, this guy's been dead forever.
Yeah,
that tour was like 7 years ago.
Right.
Can you imagine if he actually had family that was still alive? How shitty they would feel.
Yeah.
He
Like nobody went to
does.
his fucking house like,
Yeah.
he's not home. He's not here.
Well,
Let's just keep looking.
they interviewed his mom, but he was in the military and I guess did military work and consulting work where a lot of times he would leave for periods of time and kind of disappear and then come back because he was just gone for work. But his mom said she knew something was up 3 years ago when she didn't get phone calls or anything, but she didn't even know what city he was in. Apparently, she didn't even know he was in Dallas, but she was apparently upset, supposedly.
Wow.
The quote was weird because it said, "My son would call me at least twice a month." His mom, Doris Stevens, who lives in Long Island, New York, told WFAA, "When the medical examiner told me 3 years, my knees gave way. 3 years, that's what I can't get past in my brain. I can't get past the 3 years." So I guess she means that
Neither can anybody else. In our brains.
Right. Like, how did the neighbors not complain about the smell?
They didn't rent the apartment out. Like this place is like they're just like,
Well,
maybe he'll come back.
the check auto drafted from his Navy retirement, and since nobody knew he was dead, it just kept paying.
They
So,
knew
like-
he was dead. They just wanted to collect those checks. They fucking knew he was dead. They're just
Dude,
like,
that's-
fuck it. We're not gonna tell anybody. Let's just
Dude,
keep
maybe
Sketchy.
the apartment manager actually killed him, or killed everyone whose checks were on auto draft. We'll see.
And this
That's a
is
good
how
idea.
rumors get started.
I like that idea.
Yep.
You check in, but you don't check out.
Yeah.
No, I'll pay with a check every month, sir.
Right. Yeah. That's.
Put this on
I keep
our
telling people, man, watch out for that auto pay stuff on your credit card, but it makes it convenient, but you never know who's gonna off you to get your fucking payments one day.
You probably still had HBO. Cable still worked. Everything was still going.
Yeah. Because if he
Okay.
paid his rent automatically, I'm sure he paid other shit.
Probably.
That's nuts.
And the
Probably
last
DVR'd like all the Sopranos. Had this on.
one, yeah, I bet his DVR was full.
DVR was fucking full for sure. Hopefully he didn't pick up repeats.
So the last one says, Louisiana man, 29, pretended to be handicapped teen to trick healthcare worker into changing his diaper.
This is
So
brilliant.
we don't have a video, but we do have a mugshot. This is the guy, Rutledge Roy Diaz.
What's up, Rut?
He pretended to be paralyzed or whatever.
Handicap.
Handicapped. So,
You should leave the picture up as you tell the story.
leave the. I
Leave the
gotta
picture.
read the story. So, a Louisiana man was arrested last week after he posed as a mentally and physically handicapped 18-year-old to trick a healthcare worker into changing his adult diaper while he became sexually aroused. Rutledge was booked into the New Orleans Parish Jail Wednesday on 10 counts each of sexual battery and human trafficking after authorities say he posted fake ads online to lure in unsuspecting healthcare workers.
You think he's an incel?
He probably is an incel. Investigators found that Diaz used social media advertisements to falsely claim that he was seeking home health care for his 18-year-old brother, Corey, whom he assumed was mentally and physically handicapped. Police said that as soon as he made an arrangement with a healthcare worker, he would then pose as Corey while allowing the healthcare provider to change his adult diaper and obtain sexual arousal under the false pretenses of being handicapped. After 10 separate incidents involving the same unidentified healthcare workers, officials said the victim became suspicious and soon discovered that Diaz had made up Corey.
That's awesome.
Do you know that there's really people out there, like, you know how with transgender people are like, I identify as this or I identify as that. We don't have to get into it, but there's actually a trans category. I use that term not knowing the actual terminology, where people they identified as someone who is physically handicap's not the right word, but
Crazy.
like no, some lady blinded herself with drain cleaner because she identified as a blind woman.
Oh,
Like,
I have
some
heard about a
lady-
few things like that.
Some
Yeah.
lady rolls around in a wheelchair, not using her legs that are perfectly capable of carrying her. Like, she can walk and everything. She just won't use her legs because she identifies as a paraplegic. Like, that blows my mind that people like that exist. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Such
I
a-
guess I don't really know a whole lot about it other than I was doing I kind of fell into a rabbit hole on YouTube about it, and it blew my mind. I guess it's like some kind of mental thing or whatever, but that I couldn't believe that actually was a thing. People actually exist like that.
Yep. And the whole
we've de-evolved.
the whole baby
That's all I
thing
know.
is definitely like a huge fetish thing, which is fine between two consenting adults. If you want to have your old lady change your diaper or
You into that, Charlie?
feed you a bottle.
You
I'm
sound
not.
like you have experience.
It's like it's consenting adults. It's okay. Wink, wink.
Well, it's
Charlie goes as
definitely-
baby Huey.
Jen, get my
every
baby
Halloween.
bottle.
It's less weird than when you just yell surprise halfway through a fucking when they think you're paralyzed. Changing your diaper and you're just like, surprise, bitch.
Got a big ass heart on. You're like,
Yeah.
hold on. You just shit yourself. How
Charlie
the fuck
goes
you
as
have a
baby
heart
Huey
on?
every Halloween, and people don't understand why he's sexually aroused the entire time.
Oh, that's a good point, Scott. The guy probably actually had to shit on himself to
Yeah. He had to shit
Oh,
himself in order to get
yeah.
changed. You ever changed an adult? You ever changed an adult when they
Yeah,
shit
I have.
it's It's
Yeah.
awful.
I hope
It's
It's
I
awful. Changing a baby, okay. Changing a baby. It's kind of it's not cute, but it's not bad. And you kind of gig and Google with the baby, you know, they're looking at you and shit. But like an adult, like having to change an adult when they shit, it's awful. It is literally, it's the most disgusting thing ever. I would
Bro.
literally, when I had to do it I had to take care of my mom, like I would puke like at least 3 times during the whole transaction.
Yeah,
I would
it's
puke
bad.
at least 3 times. It was terrible.
Yeah, it's really
It takes
hard.
you have to be an angel. You literally have to be
Especially
like,
when it's
from
like a
heaven
son,
to do that
a
for
son
someone.
taking care of a parent or something. To me, that makes it even harder.
Oh, it's terrible.
Like Jennifer had to help with her dad some when he got older, and man, it messed her up in the head. Like she
You're
said,
such a
there's
kind
just
of
some
person.
things that she doesn't want to see.
Well, I was an alcoholic for like a severe alcoholic. Like, it didn't help my mental status either, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. It's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. So I'll tell you, anybody who does that is an angel.
Am
Special
I,
kind of person, that's for sure.
That's it for the weird news. The other story I was going to discuss, I think we're going to talk about into
I
the
don't
show.
think he's an incel.
That's it.
All right, we got a couple things to talk about today. Stan, I'd like to get some of your thoughts on this. I found an article. Now, everybody who's not aware, if you're not aware with what's going on in with the current situation of legality and vaping and things of that nature, Michael Bloomberg, if you don't know for sure, didn't know, Michael Bloomberg is a fucking dick. He gave $160 million to anti-vaping groups to ban flavors, specifically to ban flavors. This money is going to all different kinds of things.
Well, not just anti-vaping groups, right? He also did it to like the American Heart Association and stuff too.
Everybody.
Yeah, isn't
Everybody. That 160
yeah.
million is very, there's not much discretion on where it's going. Anybody that's trying to get rid of flavors is going to influencing. I believe it also went to state officials. I bet you if you look at some state officials are getting it too.
Absolutely.
Funneled somehow filtered to them. But so this is really interesting. I found this article from early this year. It was from April of 2019. And interestingly enough, it was put out by Bloomberg Financial. And if you don't know anything about Mike Bloomberg, he's got like hundreds of these news agencies like that he owns. He owns a shitload of media. And it's all called Bloomberg because he is a fucking contemptuous fuck. He's got to put his name on everything because he's just such a fucking asshole. But anyway, so Bloomberg Financial put out a story in April this year talking about high yield tobacco funds. And basically these high yield tobacco funds during like any kind of recession, they're kind of recession proof. And as the market kind of cooled down from like 2012, started cooling down a little bit, these high yield tobacco bonds were continuing to grow. And they were getting great returns back for their investors. Well, in 2000, so this would have been around like 2016, 2017, they started taking hits. And they started like slowly, like they weren't actually going down, but they were just they weren't growing anymore. And they did see a little bit of a loss. So they started losing a little bit, but they're really not in that bad a shape. So this financial guy for Bloomberg writes an article about the tobacco bonds and what's going on with them. Like, and this is how you can tell. This is like an investor profile type article. So this is to people giving money to these bonds saying this is why these bonds are going down. So this is the truth. Well, one thing they mentioned was they actually say in the article that tobacco is having trouble competing with a new, safer type of nicotine device, the e-cigarette, and that they don't know. And then they started talking about Juul, and they said, well, Juul is really starting to take a large market share away from cigarettes. And that is not, we can't put that in tobacco fund because it's not tobacco. So they said that one of the quotes was Juul is going to cannibalize this market and therefore cannibalize themselves. Meaning they're going to get so big in this market that they're going to have to be taken out. Like somebody's going to have to take them out because they're going to take away too much from this market. The second thing they said that their saving grace was a new device coming out by RJ Reynolds called the IQ. What is it? IQs? IQOS. They talked about the IQOS, and they said the IQOS that profit will be put into this bond, right? Because it is a tobacco product. But they needed to level the playing field against flavored e-cigarettes because the thing that they can't do with the IQOS is it does not flavor. So they talked about how like flavored e-liquids or flavored e-cigarettes are going to take market share away from that product. How are they going to get that product? Look at my hands. I'm doing like this with my hands. How are they going to get that product in the market and be able to take off with it when the competition is more invitable to the user? Right. So it's just funny. They did this whole article on it. And I could see like these guys all sitting around being like, yeah, what are we going to do? Let's just get it banned.
For sure. And to me, this
is a $1 trillion bond. So this is a $1 trillion bond. Okay. So this is not a small little itty bitty bond. This is trillions of dollars. So how much money is it worth to Michael Bloomberg? That's probably shit neck deep in these bonds. 160 million to him is like nothing compared to how much money you can lose if these bonds don't keep moving, right?
For him to throw out $160 million, he had a lot more money. $1 billion investment.
Billions on it.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
For sure. Guaranteed. And it's no coincidence that the IQOS getting PMTA approval and actually hitting store shelves, and this whole flavor ban thing with the with the THC carts, that all came up like within a week or two of IQOS, the first shop opening in Atlanta.
Oh, really?
Like, I'm thinking, I want to say it was within a week or two of the 9/11 announcements that the president did.
Well, plus you got to think about the fact that all these people are. What's funny is that all these Democrats and stuff, they hate Donald Trump. I mean, a lot of Republicans don't like him either, but all these Democrats and everything hate Donald Trump. No, their big thing is he's a businessman. He's not a politician kind of thing. And then you look at Bloomberg and you wonder, he's investing 160 million in this thing and he wants to be the president in the future too. And it makes you wonder if he's making all this money off of it. Okay. He puts 160 million into it, makes this big, funds this big fake epidemic thing, and then gets a presidential a foundation for running for president on, I saved the children from the devil e-cigarettes and flavors. Yeah. Let me put my tinfoil hat on, but none of that sounds too outrageous to me, honestly.
Right. So in October the 4th, CNBC did a headline article that says Altria launches IQOS tobacco device in the U.S. and the time couldn't be better. And I'm sure they talk about how
time couldn't be better.
Yeah.
It's just it's so blatantly obvious what's going on. I was reading this article.
It says it's perfect timing, in quotes, said Piper Jeffrey analyst Michael Lavery. I don't think they would have expected some consumer uncertainty around vapor coinciding with the launch of the IQOS in the U.S. So he basically says, I don't think they planned this, but the timing couldn't be any better.
They didn't plan it, yeah. A multi-million-dollar launch of a product. They're not planning that. That is like, hey, is it right? Like, call downstairs. Is it ready yet? It's ready. Okay.
I've said this.
Flip the switch. Let's just put it out there. Like, that's not a coordinated fucking
months,
effort.
Right?
Yeah.
They had it ready for months, just hovering over the button.
Let me tell you something. You have to think of it like this. Would you do that? With my limited small business amount of knowledge, I would make sure that I put it in the market at the best time I possibly could.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I would, if I own Juul, I would be playing Juul exactly like they are.
Yeah.
I would fucking
just shut the fuck up.
Out the windows. Yeah. Just shut up. Stay back in the background. Get my PMTA on the side with tobacco, and wait for the rest of the industry to fall.
Yeah. That's what
I've said this before, but have you guys ever actually seen the IQOS in person? Like,
no,
or seen it used?
I have.
Okay.
I haven't.
I've been around it. I've taken a vape off of it. It's a cigarette. It's a cigarette, and when you cut it open, like, here's the deal: if you've ever used alternative vapor products for flower, then you'll
like with a dry herb vaporizer.
Yes, you'll understand that if you vaporize it too long or too hot, it will burn. It will turn into ash.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing happens with this thing, only it's not adjustable voltage wise. It just is automatically set, and you cut the thing open and it's got black ash all through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the filter's still all yellow and nasty. It's got black ash all through it. It's a cigarette, and I don't care. Oh, well, it's been soaked in PG or VG or whatever they soak it in, so that you can vaporize off of it, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit, because just like cotton, if you're not constantly putting liquid back into it, it's going to dry out the medium and it's going to burn the medium. The medium being the tobacco.
All right, and you buy a box of these heat sticks, and there's a good chance they've been sitting on the shelf or in the warehouse when you pick them up from a retailer, so they may be on the dry side anyway. And with heat not burn devices in the alternative markets, you have an adjustable temperature setting, so that you can fine tune it, where you try to find the balance between just heating it and getting that vapor or smoke production off of it and not burning it. But with IQOS, basically you get it the way it comes. And
think about this too. Tobacco's already dried. So they're drying it. They're introducing the glycol.
I found out they don't actually even use tobacco leaves though for these. Like a cigarette, they actually make this paste stuff, and they make a paste stuff like paper pulp, and then they roll it out and let it dry. Like, they go through this process a few times with this ground crap.
It's tobacco leaves.
Yeah, they take the paste, which with tobacco leaves and whatever else they've put it in there, roll it out and let it dry, and then try to crumple it so it looks more like dried tobacco when someone takes a heat stick apart. But still, originally it came from this toothpaste looking stuff.
And it's got all the same chemicals in it.
It's like hot dog meat. It's like
yeah, exactly.
It's like the red meat that you get at Taco Bell. Comes in a big thing. You're like,
yeah, the pink
tobacco and
sludge meat from McDonald's.
Yeah, you know, but let me give you an idea. So this is an article I was reading right before we went live, and that's pretty much what I do all day is read articles about vaping. My life is crazy. That's pretty much what I do. But anyway, so there's an article I was reading. This lady in Georgia. So she went to the Georgia State House and talked in front of a bunch of lawmakers there. And she basically is claiming that her son began vaping, and that vaping popped his lungs like a balloon. That he had to get the tops of his lungs stapled together.
Dude, maybe
she's going in front of, and then she said when he went through withdrawals, that he was sweating and vomiting and everything, and the doctors were like, "Wait a minute, he's withdrawing from nicotine?" And then she's like, "Yeah, it's nicotine." And they're like,
"No, it's not."
Wait a minute, that doesn't seem like nicotine withdrawal.
Yeah,
but that's what she's saying. That's what she's claiming.
That's actually, maybe that's where popcorn one comes from. It's not actually from popcorn. It's like when the bag busts in the microwave.
Bust your lungs out.
Again, with starting the rumors, Charlie.
Can you imagine how fucking retarded that is? That's not. I mean,
his lungs busted like a hot pocket, basically. So they stapled him back together.
They stapled them back together. That's what the article
Yeah.
said. I'm like reading this. I'm like, people are reading this and absolutely horrified.
They're believing
absolutely horrified that this is happening. And let's be honest. So that she's like, well, we want flavors banned.
It happened once.
We want flavors banned. It's like, dude, if it's a product that blows your fucking lungs apart, then it shouldn't be allowed at all. Right? Like, come on,
Yeah,
that needs to be verified before you start.
now.
And then, of course, they print it right in the news. It's right here, article written on it. Like, how
Well,
there's no responsibility in journalism at all anymore.
Canada just recently, I believe it was Canada, just recently ran a popcorn long article, like a new front page headline, and it turned out, I can't remember if it was Canada. This might have happened in the UK as well, but it turned out that the article was from like 2017 or something. Same article that they had done back then. They just rehashed it to get on some of this hot new clickbait.
Freaking ridiculous, man. Like, look, nicotine and cigarette have been around for forever. Okay, when you're coming off withdrawals of cigarettes, people try to say it's as bad as heroin withdrawal and stuff like that. And okay, sure.
No, it's not.
I've never come off heroin before, so I can't tell you for sure. But I can guarantee you, I haven't crouched in the bathroom over the toilet for 3 days, like hurting when I came off cigarettes. I got some stomach aches, I got some headaches, maybe some cold sweats occasionally, but coming off of vaping withdrawal, dude, I can go 3 days without vaping and be fine. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about withdrawal from vaping and you're having convulsions and your lungs are popping and it's like you're puking and vomiting and sick as like just all messed up. Dude, that is hard drug withdrawal. I don't care who you like, what your kid is lying to you.
Yeah. And that's another point that we discussed briefly before we came on as well, is the vaping is like the easiest way out of anything right now. Literally, you could be mainlining heroin and be like, I'm sick as fuck. Be like, I'm fucking vaping.
Mom,
and
I need
your
to
parents
go
will
to
be
the
like, oh my
hospital.
God, you were tricked by the jewel.
Yeah. Oh my God, son, why are you laid out on the floor? Why are you laid out on the floor with your insides all over the ground? Like, what's happened? I was vaping, Mom.
I had a jewel.
No, you weren't.
No, you weren't, dude. You weren't.
Yeah, it's like the easiest answer. I didn't know that, Mom. Like, I just thought it was flavored. I just thought it was like candy. Dude, my mom would have never bought some shit like that for me.
Real, and that's the thing is we talked about that the other day too. Like, you're not knowing. Like, my dad would have been like, "You shut the fuck up." You knew.
Yeah,
dude, my dad would have been like, "That's not right."
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, where's the sense? That's. I don't understand where these parents nowadays. I'm a parent. I'm a parent. Okay, I'm a parent of 2 children, and my son tries to get away with shit all the time. He's only 11, and I guarantee you it'll get worse. But like, I don't understand where these parents nowadays, my age or a little bit older, do not like just my kid would never lie to me.
Yeah,
my kid would never lie to me. Dude, my mom what was like last year, we were at a family event and she was talking about how, oh, he was such a good kid and all this stuff. And I turned to her and said, that's because I never got caught.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm sure you were doing things, and you know, like, but you were such a good kid, like outside the way or whatever. It's like because I had sense enough not to be an idiot and get in trouble, you know. Like,
and then
I did shit all the time, and if I ever did get caught, I probably would have said the thing that was the least gonna get me in trouble. Like, right now it's vaping. You know?
Yeah.
Because you're a freaking, what's the word? Victim. You're a victim.
You're a victim.
You're a victim.
Yeah, and now with all this media attention, it's like an auto out for the kids because parents have basically been programmed to think of their kids as victim if it happens.
I'm sorry, ma'am. She has alcohol poisoning. She drank 15 times past the legal limit, and you're very lucky she got here because she could have died. She would never drink. She told me she was vaping.
Yeah, it was a jewel. Is there alcohol in those things?
Yeah, exactly.
They put alcohol in them. No, they didn't. This is Stoli vodka.
That could totally make an article on the local news. Like, local mother says her teen got alcohol poisoning. Juul was the only substance she was using.
Yeah.
And they'll just run with shit like that.
They will. They'll be like, they're starting to put alcohol in Juuls now. It'll be
And
like
Mitt
that's what Sanders
Romney's
never-
comment, like he just had so much verbal diarrhea spewing out of his mouth in that Vape Summit meeting and with the president. And then he makes the comment, yeah, half the kids, what did he say? Half the kids in Salt Lake City schools are vaping. Obviously, if Joel wouldn't have come around, they never would have smoked or vaped because they're Mormon.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's your science. That's Mitt Romney's scientific evidence. They're Mormon,
what,
so they never would have done it.
Adults all use tobacco flavor.
If
Wait,
Mitt
no.
Romney was ever ranting on stage like that, like he was in the thing at the meeting, if he was ever ranting on stage like that, and all of a sudden, like you don't know what happened, he just like up and fell over. Like I'm not the kind of guy that like wants people to get hurt. I would laugh. I would be like, ah, oh.
Dude, I mean,
What
it
happened?
was.
Who cares? Look at him.
Dude, that shit was so fucking funny.
Oh my
He was
gosh.
he was such a fucking just sounded like such a dipshit.
When-
and then at
when,
one point he said, "What about the children?"
oh my
Like,
God.
I like there's like all this arguing going on back and forth. They must have had
Yeah.
the microphone closer to him. All you hear was like this. You just hear, "What about the children?"
Yeah, right.
Like
When
this
Greg
fucking
Connolly was
guy.
talking, whatever, and he's just sitting back like this, like
Trump's like, "I like this."
smirking.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, dude! I
he was
wanted
just
to
looking for
die.
Omarosa to come popping up, give her opinion, pop down. He was like he was on the fucking. It was like he was in like on the show, The Apprentice. Fantastic.
I tell
All right, we
you
got a
what,
giveaway to
speaking
do.
of The Apprentice, I think fucking Secretary Azar is going to be on the chopping block soon.
Oh, I hope
His
so.
body language.
He was like,
Trump's pissed.
Trump doesn't like him, and that's awesome.
yeah, he's like, you got me in this fucking whole shit show. As
Well, later,
I shouldn't even be involved in this.
after the media left, I can't remember who it was that was in the room, but I don't remember if
It was
Trump
Kelly
asked
Conway
or
and the
one
guy
of-
from.
either Trump asked or one of the antis asked. It was Paul Blair. So you and all your Vape Warriors were on Twitter putting tweets out that said we should fire Secretary Azar. Can you comment further on that or anything? And it was somebody else asked Paul Blair that, and Trump was like, "Hell, I think that's the best idea all day."
Yeah,
So as soon
he
as
said he was joking, but it's
yeah,
kind
as soon as they came out of the meeting, there was like 7 unconfirmed sources that said they heard him make the joke. I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
get
All
your-
right,
That was a very kind. You better get your shit together.
Yep,
Like,
that's
pat on the
exactly
ass.
right.
all right. We got a giveaway to do. We're gonna do a real quick. Everybody in chat, I need a number between 1 and 150. This is for a $25 gift certificate to the greatest e-liquid on the face of this earth. Shy Tots e-liquid. Here's some Mont Blanc. This is nice and full. I'm taking this with me. It's right here. This is gonna be gone. I have another one right here too. That one's empty.
That's the one. going to
$25
the
gift certificate. I need a number between 1 and 150. Go. Romney. God, he was such a fucking dummy. And all the antis who were talking about like, I'm a nurse, and I was in a, talking to somebody who was going. She was a psychiatrist, and she was talking. She said he's got all kinds of mental trauma from it. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Mental trauma from smoking?
Dude, I cannot.
Like, could you
stand-
imagine? Like, okay, let's look at that mental trauma from like, could you imagine being on a boat getting shot at? Like on D-Day, like the mental trauma that you would go through. Like, I'm
Right.
not trying to be extreme here, but those
No,
were
no, no.
18-year-old kids on that goddamn boat getting ready. Like, that's mental trauma.
PTSD.
That's shit like you don't forget about ever, or being in any kind of war situation where somebody's shooting at you anywhere in the world. That's mental trauma. That's shit you bring with you, take with you. You need to fucking figure out how to deal with that.
Mhm.
Vaping, smoking a cigarette. That's not really. How is that mental trauma?
You mean your kid got mental trauma from being a normal teenager and learning the hard way?
Right.
Holy crap!
Oh my god,
Everybody in this world has mental trauma.
dude.
Oh,
it
that's just like the
it's
side
fucking crazy
effect.
anymore.
the side effects from adolescence using Juul is like your kid wakes up and you don't know who they are, and they have frequent mood swings and sleep a lot. Like that's just being a fucking teenager.
You mean hormones?
Yeah, exactly.
That's called being 16 and being
Right.
mad.
You mean puberty?
Yeah.
Hashtag
you know-
blame Juul. Like blame Obama's been replaced with just blame Juul. Like that's the answer to
has.
everything.
Every time I hear Pave talk, anybody
Oh.
from Pave, I want to freaking strangle myself. I mean, that's not a joke. That's not funny, but I cannot stand to listen to Pave speak. It's like, be an adult.
And
Be
Right.
a parent, be a freaking role model. Stop looking for someone to blame. You are impressing the victim social thing on the younger kids here. They're going to grow up
Right.
thinking everything makes them a victim.
yeah,
Get over yourself.
and Meredith Berkman, the woman that was
Oh,
sitting
she's
there
the worst.
in the
She's
most
the
like
worst.
innocent small town family mom looking pink Little House on the Prairie dress that she could find. She sued for $50 million because of the ingredients listing being wrong on a snack package.
Pirate Booty. She sued
Actually,
Pirate Booty for
settled.
$50 million.
Epstein didn't
She
kill
said that it made her
himself.
fat. She said it made her fat and caused her mental anguish.
Yep.
I sued him for
It
$50
was
million.
because of the weight gain, I guess, because the calories or whatever were listed wrong. But I don't know what the final payout was, but they settled and recalled the snacks.
Let me tell you something. I don't know. I don't know if it caused weight gain, but if it did that to her face, she should have sued them for $50 million.
Did
Have
you
you
guys
seen
know
her?
that? What? Who?
Have you seen Meredith Berkman?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I'll
That's
find
where
a
if that have you dude, she's fucking she just I can't stand her. Cannot stand her. All right, 1 to 150 need a number.
Did you know that Epstein didn't kill himself?
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Hillary paid Pave to give him a jewel. That's what happened.
Oh, that would
Winning
be
number 113. 113 winning number. Did you hear about the pardoned turkey was found dead after spread a
yeah.
rumor from Hillary Clinton? They found him
I
dead
did.
the other day.
Yep.
Yeah, that turkey
My
did not
son
make it.
asked me the other day in the car. We're driving down the road, and he goes, "Dad, did Hillary Clinton kill people?"
It's like, yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, she
Stan.
did.
That's her.
There she is, MB.
Yeah,
Miss Berkman.
it's alive.
Todd Black is our winner. So the whole thing with like I know a little bit about like I watch crime shows and shit, and like one of the things that they teach in those interrogations is that pink is a very disarming color, and that like a lot of investigators will wear something pink, especially the women. 'Cause
Oh
it's
yeah.
disarming to the people, and they feel more trust. Like
Yeah,
it's been
that's
proven
correct.
that color makes you feel more trust towards that person.
Yeah, there's
And
a
I'm
lot
assuming
of,
that's why she wore pink, because
Right,
it's a
for
very
sure.
trusting color.
Yeah, I think everybody that went into that meeting at least considered the psychology of what they were wearing and what color they were going to wear into the
Is that
meeting.
specifically like a pastel pink?
It was
Because
like
I'll tell you, hot pink kind of gets me a little aroused sometimes when
she was
certain
hot
people
pink,
wear.
but it wasn't arousing. It looked like something from Little House on the Prairie. She looked like Laura Ingalls,
I'll find some photos.
like Laura Ingalls and the witch from Wizard of
Sorry.
Oz combined.
I love how
Find that
Charlie's like on the research. Whenever somebody says one thing, he's like, click, 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 click.
Charlie, yeah,
I do.
Charlie's like our Fred on the Howard Stern show. He's always got like the joke or the sound or the news fight, like always ready.
Charlie's the guy that Joe Rogan's hollering at. Hey, yeah, pull up a picture of this.
Yeah.
Pretty much. They call me Rain Man at work because of that.
Oh, I can't stand her. And she is like, she's the number one. And you know what's funny is I don't even know what their membership is. They make it sound like they've got chapters all over. There she is.
Oh, not that. Nope, that didn't do it for me.
That's
There
not
she
going to work for
is.
you there, Stan.
No, that one's no. That's. Look at that face, bro. Why is she making duck face?
Because Tony Abood is talking and she's disgusted by anything that.
That is the scary disapproval face of disapproval.
Yep. She's probably thinking of how she's going to play the victim role when she gets out of the meeting.
She's going to faint.
Yeah, say someone touched her feelings.
Somebody else.
Both of them.
And let's also she lives in Manhattan. She's like a socialite. She's like not a poor person.
yeah, she runs in the same circle of friends as Bloomberg.
Yeah, that's how they got. Don't make any that entire PAVE group is funded by Bloomberg, and that's how they're getting so much access out of
I
nowhere.
thought it was
Dude,
epic.
they get into everything, bro.
They had a closed door meeting with the Surgeon General.
I cannot
Closed door
stand
meeting with the
hearing them in
fucking Surgeon
everything.
General, dude.
Dude, they so when the and we'll cover it some more next week, but New York City just city council just banned flavors in New York City.
Yeah.
But that morning PAVE actually met with them and then had a rally in New York. And Matt Elliott actually went to the rally. He was just standing in the back, but they kicked him out. Even though they were already outside, the rally was outside. Yeah, they kicked all the vapors out. And they were like,
how many people showed up for the rally?
Matt, I think it was Matt or one of them said, we're already standing outside. Like, where do you want us to go? We're waiting on the city council. And the guard was like, go back where you came from. I don't care where you go, but you can't be here.
You know what makes me what's kind of sad, not makes me, but it is kind of sad, is that rally thing in New York. Granted, everything is kind of last minute with this stuff, everything. Okay. But regardless of that, I think I was watching Mike Vapes live, and before they actually went in to listen to the meeting, there was 13 people rallied around Mike. 13.
Right. But city council announced that, like that night, basically, they said in the morning, we're putting a flavor ban up for vote tomorrow morning. So
yeah, but 13, bro?
No, I totally agree.
I mean, 50, sure. Like, I get it. 50, like last second, like the word doesn't get out to too many people, like just the people.
Yeah, we got lucky with, and I'm sure it goes back to the whole Al Sharpton thing, but there was some people that stood with us who were for freedom of choice against banning menthol cigarettes because they knew that was a possibility.
Was that the people in the yellow shirts?
Down the line. Yeah.
I thought those were PAVE shirts.
No, they were PAVE was in yellow. PAVE was in yellow too, but they were freedom of choice. The ones that were with us
that were up in the balcony.
Yeah,
a bunch of black people.
Yeah, they were for freedom of choice.
Yeah, I saw that, and I thought they were PAVE because when Spike started throwing the money, they all started laughing. I was like, all those fucking PAVE people are laughing. They were laughing that she was doing that, so they were on our side. Okay.
Yep, they were. That's exactly right. Yeah, and Spike Buxton, I thought that was awesome. It's one of those things that if someone asked me if they should do it, I wouldn't advise it. But knowing the situation that she's in, she had 4 shops in New York City. One of them she had to close recently. She's got 3 more that will now have to be closed. So she went to the bank, took what was left in her checking account out in singles. And once after they voted and everything, she said, if you want your tobacco money so bad, here's some more tobacco money, and just threw $400 in ones over the balcony.
Yeah.
Faceless Vapor said, who is PAVE? PAVE is Parents Against Vaping E-Cigarettes.
That's correct.
They're a group of concerned moms. They're very similar to another organization that is funded directly by Mike Bloomberg called Moms Demand. And that group is against firearms in the United States. So they're the same playbook as the Moms Demand, which is a huge group. Moms Demand is huge and very well funded. PAVE isn't so big, but they do have chapters apparently all over the United States. Like they were talking about one in Florida. I read all their shit.
Oh, they do.
Free to get on Twitter and just tag them in everything. Just to
they have
look at
500,000 followers throughout various social media. That they like to give credit to and say we're here on behalf of our 500,000
Not on Twitter.
followers.
On Twitter, they got a couple thousand.
I think it's probably that way everywhere. I don't know how they get their 500,000 number, but
I wonder.
They claim it.
It's padded, bro. It's padded.
Absolutely. They have no way of proving it 500,000. No fucking way. Because there ain't 500,000 crazy ass pirate booty suing motherfuckers out there. Well, maybe there is.
They don't have that many people that show up to the rally things either, though. Like that's like I don't know how many they had in New York, but the
There
numbers
wasn't very many.
the numbers aren't crazy impressive to me. And the fact that they get into like that's the thing that drives
It's
me
access.
absolutely. Yeah, the access,
Yep.
bro.
It's
Like,
access.
Just the access with how small they are makes me wonder.
Well,
Closed door meeting with the Surgeon
one-
General of the
yeah.
United States and with Secretary Azar.
And
Well,
the
one-
president
Both
of
of
the
them.
United States.
And they got in on, but at least we were there to defend ourselves.
Well,
At
one of them-
like I thought he did good getting us in there at least.
and this is where one of our problems is. But one of the PAVE co-founders, her husband was actually, her husband runs one of the biggest PR firms in New York that worked for Big Tobacco.
Yeah.
And she is a Republican fundraiser who has raised a lot of money for some really big politicians. So they've got the access and the connections and the financing.
Right. And that's the whole key to it is, and it's so funny because they say, well, we don't know, there was the whole thing that swayed Trump was a couple things to it. He's concerned about losing the next election. He's concerned about losing in 2020, and he doesn't want to lose those votes in swing states.
No,
that's really what got us in the room and kept
that's
us.
the only reason that's the only reason we're still here.
And they came out and they couldn't believe how many of us there were. They couldn't believe it, and they couldn't. But what they figured out was that it was going to be about a 5-point swing in a couple states, and they were like, "Ooh,
right."
The people that hold that against him too, that he's paying attention because the votes are there to like the people that hold that against him. Why shouldn't he hold that into account?
Well, that's how our system works, right?
But see, he doesn't care about public health. He only cares about getting reelected. Well, yeah, he's listening to the freaking constituents. The constituents are the ones that elect him. And if we are in a majority that say, look, you're doing something that's going to get you not elected, why shouldn't he worry about that?
Yeah. Well, and let me make this abundantly clear. This will be my last point before we get out of here. Make this abundantly clear. The only way that they're going to listen is if you vote them out. Vote them out. If they know that the only way they're going to listen. No other way. Going to them, pleading, showing them the data, pleading them in the information, this, that, the other, calling, voting them out, or the fear of being voted out is the only way they're going to listen. That's it. No other way.
No, that's exactly right.
Charlie Baker, 2022, has to be gone. Literally, I know that's 2 years away, 3 years away, whatever it is, has to be gone.
Right.
Like all these guys in Massachusetts have to be gone. By that time, we'll probably have laws and everything. That's what he's banking on. But stuff like that, like we can't forget. We have to make sure that they're gone.
Right.
And that's a lot of work, man. That's a
a
lot of work to have done.
I beg everyone not to burn out because unfortunately, it doesn't matter how much we could have an injection of 200 or 300 million on our side. The consumers still matter because there's no agency that can threaten votes the way we can. Right. So that's why it's so important for all of us to stay engaged and follow these calls. If we're blowing up the White House, one thing everybody needs to do, the PMTA comment period was extended. Make sure you get to the FDA's website and leave your comment on the PMTA guidelines that have been drafted this far.
Yeah.
Tell me about
first off, they revised the PMTA and they opened the comments back up.
Let me pull up.
Links, bro, links.
Yeah, we need
this
that
information.
Yeah.
I
forget that everybody isn't on Twitter watching this shit because it's like that came out I think on Thursday. No, excuse me, on Tuesday.
I get on Twitter for a few days at a time, and then I take a couple days break because it enrages me, and then I get back on, and then I get back off.
I'm on constantly. I'm addicted to Twitter.
So
I'm addicted to Twitter like I was addicted to alcohol. Like I am on it constantly, just going after people, man.
It takes over.
It's bad.
Man. Like I have to step away for a couple days and then come back.
It's the only way I can be healthy about my anger.
Yeah.
If as pathetic as that sounds, it's the only healthy outlet I have from all this anger that I have.
I definitely think you should be on there and doing your thing, but for me,
it's going to drive me nuts
every single day. I can't do it every single day.
It affects my mood. I notice that at night sometimes before I go to bed, I'll be pissed off. And Franca's like, why are you mad? I'm like, oh, because this fucking guy. And she's like, it doesn't matter. Take it easy.
Yeah, you got to be able to shut it off, which I'm pretty good at. I realize how much of it is politics and a lot of the stuff I would be saying if I was on the other side. whatever I could do for character assassination, or to if it's a black and white issue, you want to make it gray. If it's a gray issue, you want to make it black and white if it's in your favor. So you just got to remember that, and take time off every few nights if you have to.
We've got about 17 days.
And there was only around 350 comments that were left before they reopened it. It was up to 550 last night, or that might have been yesterday morning.
We'll get some more comments tonight on the stew.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. You definitely want to read the article so you can see what your comment's going to apply to, and write something thoughtful there. Just don't forget to do it.
Yeah, no, I'll read it after the show here. Thank you for the information.
All right. On that note, we're going to get out of here. Great to see everybody tonight. You got all kinds of great things tonight on the YouTubes. You have the Rising Vapors at 8 o'clock. At 7:30, you have the Green Room. Then 10 o'clock tonight, I think I'm going to be on the Vape still. Am I on the Vape? Yeah, I'm on the Vape still.
It's going to be you if you want to be there, and Frames Janklin Vapor.
That sounds
Frames
good.
Janklin Vapor.
We will have a good time. All right, so that is Vape Stew tonight, 10 o'clock. Tommy on at 11
Eastern,
o'clock.
9 o'clock Central, and 7 o'clock West Coast.
All right. Charlie, you got anything before we get out of here?
Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it. You guys check out the stew. And I'm sure the Rising Vapors have a show tonight.
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
The Green Room, are they on? Who else is on Fridays?
Green Room's on 7:30. And Rising
And
Vapors
that's
on
it.
8.
Be back here next week. We will have some important topics to go over that I missed today that we'll get to next week.
One more thing.
Stan.
One more thing. LucidRDA.com. 40% off Black Friday code is Black Friday. 40% off everything. And then that's what I've got in stock, which is a whole bunch of Keens and a whole bunch of atomizers and stuff. I don't think Dreamers are really in stock, but 40% off everything I got. And then in 2 weeks, I'll have a re-up. And the entire month of December, I'm doing a 30% off. So get on the email.
That's awesome.
Yeah, get on the email list, and you'll get the discount code in your email. 30% off the whole month of December, 40% off till Monday with code Black Friday.
I don't know if they're gone yet, but there was Keen stack sections there for you guys that have Keens. So check that out.
Lovely.
All right.
All right. Love you guys. Thanks so much for joining. Have a great holiday weekend. Stay safe. See you on Monday. Featured Builder, Crazy Coils 1200. See you then.